I've noticed a common theme, and perhaps you've run into these videos as well. These are the videos that tell you what you'd need to save each month in order to retire at full retirement age. So, 10% of your paycheck if you start in your 30s, or 15% if you start in your 40s. But I always think to myself, there's just so much missing from this simple calculation. Calculating your own retirement is far more complex than that. So, today I'm going to make sense of these videos. We're going to start out by first establishing some averages. And then we're going to work through how to reach that goal. Northwestern Mutual's 2026 Planning and Progress Study told Americans that you need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. And that number is flat out wrong, and for many, quite discouraging. For a typical two earner household, the real target is half that amount, right around 725,000. What happens when people see that 1.46 million is they oftentimes give up on ever being able to retire. But when we take a closer look, a happy, comfortable retirement is actually well within reach. The massive gap between 1.46 million and 725,000, it mainly comes down to one simple thing, a single line item that almost no one accounts for when they're surveyed. And we'll go into detail on that shortly. After that, I'll show you the exact percentage of your paycheck you actually need to save based on how old you are when you start. Depending on your age, it ranges from 3.3% all the way up to nearly 70%. Plus, I'll share two specific strategies that outperform almost any bump in your savings rate. Neither of these require you to find even a single extra dollar in your budget today. Before we dive into the math, if you want to skip the manual calculations and figure out your exact numbers right now, check out readyandretire.com. It's packed with interactive tools and customized calculations built to help you map out your personal retirement plan in just a few minutes. Head over to readyandretire.com or hit the link down in the description and get working on your plan. Let's first explore what a comfortable retirement actually costs you, starting with income. The median US household brings in $83,730 annually. That's the official Census Bureau figure for 2024, and it's going to anchor every calculation that we do today. Standard retirement planning usually aims to replace about 80% of your pre retirement income. For our median household, 80% comes out to $66,984 per year in retirement. Again, that's 80% replacement, not a 100% replacement. And taking that 20% drop doesn't mean that you're sleeping on a cot. It's just simple math. Four big expenses disappear the day that you stop working. Number one, you stop saving for retirement. That 10 to 15% of your check that you're putting away every single month, well, that expense drops down to zero because now you're already retired. Number two, payroll taxes vanish. That 7.65% tax for Social Security and Medicare, it doesn't touch your retirement account withdrawals. Number three, work expenses. So commuting, gas, parking, dry cleaning, desk lunches, most of that all just disappears. And fourth, for a lot of people, the mortgage is paid off by age 67 or pretty close to it. So you end up with the same lifestyle, but a significantly lower baseline cost. There's also a second reason that 80% target is pretty conservative, and it comes from research by David Blanchett back in 2014 on what he calls the retirement spending smile. He found that actual inflation adjusted spending drops about 1% per year during your first decade of retirement, and then falls another 2% per year through your middle retirement years, and then levels off later as healthcare expenses rise. So, a household that starts out spending $100,000 a year often bottoms out right around $74,146 by age 84. That's roughly a 26% drop in real spending. Now, experts still debate that spending curve, so it's not absolute gospel. But if you're planning for a flat 80% replacement across 30 years, you're building a solid safety cushion and not taking on any extra risk. Which brings us right to the missing line item that I mentioned earlier, Social Security. Social Security is the single biggest asset in almost every American's retirement plan. Before you touch a single cent of your personal savings, Social Security replaces roughly 45.4% of that median household income. So why the 725,000 and not the 1.46 million? Let's do the math together right here on screen. First off, you don't have to fund the entire $66,984 out of your own portfolio. Social Security takes a huge chunk right off the top first. The average 2026 benefit for a couple where both spouses collect comes out to $3,208 per month. That's $38,496 per year. We can round that down to 38,000 just to stay conservative. 66,984 minus 38,000 leaves $28,984 per year. That's it. That's the gap your personal savings actually has to cover. Now let's apply the 4% rule. You pull 4% in year one, adjusted for inflation every year after, and your portfolio should survive a 30-year retirement. 28,985 multiplied by 25 gives us 724,600. Let's round that to 725,000. That is your real number for a comfortable retirement. Nowhere near 1.46 million. Now, if you're single, these numbers shift significantly, and most retirement videos skip right over you. So let's make sure that we cover that as well. A single retiree gets one Social Security check, roughly $25,000 a year, while paying basically the same baseline housing, utility, and insurance costs. That means your annual income gap widens to 41,984, pushing your target nest egg over $1 million. If you have a below average earning record or choose a more cautious withdrawal rate, you're looking at closer to 1.4 million. So keep those figures in mind if you're single. All right, here's the table that we want to get to. This shows what it takes to hit 725,000 by age 67, starting from absolute zero, assuming a standard 7% long run return with an age appropriate glide path. This is essentially how a basic target date fund already works. Nothing overcomplicated. Now look at what your starting age does to the math. If you start at 25, you only need to save 3.3% of your income. That's about $232 per month. If you start at 30, it moves to 5.1%. If your employer matches 4% of your pay, that match alone covers nearly 80% of what you need. That's a retirement funded on someone else's dime. Now, here's a stat worth paying close attention to. Over 42 years, a 25-year-old puts in $116,970 of her own money and walks away with $725,000. 84% of the final balance comes from invested growth, not her actual contributions. And she never puts away more than 3.3% of her gross income at any point in her life. Set it up, automate it, and let 4 decades of compounding do the heavy lifting while you go live your life. Now, most people don't start at age 25. Between 35 and 40 is when people actually start paying attention. Good news, the math still works out without needing any crazy heroics. At 35, saving 7.8% gets it done. At 40, you need 12.4%. Both of these fall inside the standard 15% savings rule of thumb, and Fidelity's 15% rule actually includes your employer match. So a 40-year-old getting a 4% company match only needs to personally contribute around 8.4%. That's roughly $586 per month. That makes a huge psychological difference. Plus, there's another major factor working in your favor. Your mid-career years are usually when your income peaks. Saving 12.4% at 40 might feel tight, but it isn't impossible by any means. Now, if you're late to start saving for retirement, the curve starts to get steep fast. At 45, you need to save 20.4% of your gross income. At 50, it jumps to 35.4%. At 55, you're looking at 69.6%. Nearly 70% of every single dollar that you earn needs to be stocked away if you're starting that late. Let's put the two ends of this chart right next to each other. The 25-year-old buys a $725,000 retirement using $116,970 of her own cash. The 55-year-old has to put in $699,600 of his own cash to land at the exact same spot. That means roughly 3.5% of the final nest egg comes from investment returns. He's basically buying his retirement outright at full retail price. And check this out, the median 401k balance for savers aged 55 to 64 is $95,642, according to Vanguard's How America Saves 2026 report. That's just 13% of the $725,000 target, with only a decade left on the clock. That reality is where a massive number of people actually find themselves today. So there's one key insight to take away from this video, and it's this: compounding is the name of the game, and the winners start early. There's a massive penalty for starting late, but there's a legal ceiling here that almost no one talks about, and it could change how this plays out. At a certain point, the amount we're supposed to contribute exceeds what the IRS will physically let you shelter in tax advantage accounts. Look at the current contribution limits. The standard 401k deferral cap is 24,500. The age 50 catch-up adds another 8,000. For ages 60 to 63, there's a special super catch-up limit of 11,250, available for 4 years only. An IRA gives you 8,600 with catch-ups included. An HSA allows up to 9,750 for a family at age 55 and up. Now let's line those limits up against our age chart. A 45-year-old needs to save $17,046 per year. That easily fits inside the standard 401k limit with room to spare. A 50-year-old needs 29,650. That fits inside the total $32,500 limit, but only if you max out your contributions completely. That may give you the cleanest action step that you can take from this video. At age 50, max out your 401k, including catch-up contributions, and stay on track. That is the assignment. At age 55, the math breaks down. You need to save $58,300. Even if you stack a maxed out 401k with a catch-up, a full IRA, and a family HSA, you max out at $50,850. So you're $7,450 short, meaning that extra money has to spill over to a taxable brokerage account. But tax limits aren't the core issue here. Saving 69.6% of a median paycheck is mathematically impossible after taxes. There simply isn't enough paycheck left. That isn't a sign to throw your hands up and quit. It's a sign that you need to change your strategy instead of endlessly trying to crank up your savings rate. If you're running behind, here are the levers that move the needle, ranked by their mathematical impact. The first two do almost all the heavy lifting. Number one, delay taking Social Security until age 70. Delayed retirement credits add 8% per year for every year that you wait past full retirement age. That is a permanent 24% bump in guaranteed income. Your $38,000 household Social Security offset jumps to $47,120. Your annual income gap shrinks down to $19,864, and your target nest egg plummets from $725,000 down to $496,600. Working until 70 gives you 3 more years to make contributions, 3 more years of compound growth to run, and 3 fewer years that you have to draw down on your savings. So it changes the game entirely. Number two, max out catch up contributions while that window is open, especially that 4 year super catch up between 60 and 63. Once you hit 64, that extra window closes. Number three, keep the 2026 Roth rules in mind. If you're 50 or older and earned over $150,000 last year, your catch-up contributions legally have to go into a Roth account. Number four, make sure you grab your full employer match before doing anything else. That is literally as close to free money as you will ever get. From here, treat your HSA like a hidden retirement account and redirect extra cash flow into investments the second big expenses like your mortgage or tuition payments are finally wrapped up. Finally, build a 5 year cash buffer. Bad market returns in the first few years of retirement drive roughly 70% of all portfolio failures. So a cash buffer will help protect you from sequence returns risk. Now, every calculation we've done assumes Social Security actually pays out what it promises. The 2026 Social Security Trustees Report projects potential trust fund depletion between 2032 and 2034, which could mean a 17 to 22% benefit cut if Congress takes no action. So let's run that exact worst case scenario. A full 22% benefit cut pushes your required portfolio target from 725,000 up to 933,600. And even that worst case figure is still roughly 1/3 lower than the $1.46 million myth that we started with. Now let's bring it all together. The real target is $725,000, not 1.46 million, because Social Security is carrying way more weight in your plan than most people realize. And if you're starting late, The two moves that dwarf any realistic increase in your savings rate are delaying Social Security and working a couple of extra years. Neither of those options cost you a single dollar out of your wallet today. That's precisely why they're so much more effective than trying to squeeze an already tight budget. So here's your homework for this week. Look up your age on the table, then log into your 401k account and compare your current contribution rate to that target percentage. If you have a gap, raise your contribution by just 1 percentage point today. Then turn on automatic 1% annual increases for every January. You likely won't even notice the difference in your paycheck. And model those two big levers before making any drastic lifestyle cuts. See what happens to your retirement gap if you work until 70 or wait to claim your Social Security income to 70. A 25-year-old wins the game by saving $232 per month and just putting it on autopilot. Everyone else wins by making deliberate strategic choices. Both approaches work, one just takes a bit more intention. If this math helped you cut through the noise today, hit the like button, drop a comment with your single biggest retirement takeaway, and subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's breakdown. If you want to run these numbers for your exact situation, head over to readyandretire.com. All of our interactive tools and calculations are ready for you, linked in the description below. My name is Russ Williams. Go check your retirement accounts. You're doing great.